Hello and welcome to our second Zebra BI webinar. Today I'll be talking about data visualization a little bit more in depth and through practical examples. My name is Andrei Lepaine and hopefully today I'll give you a few more insights into data visualization and especially how you can use it in business reporting and business cases. Today I'd like to start with a simple question, and we'll do a little bit of a test here. Can you answer this question? Simple question: which product has the largest share? And we have a share of 5 different products here, and we have. Let me just put up the laser pointer. Okay, so. It's a trivial case, it's a cliche 3D pie chart, and I would like you to assess the values and remember your answer. Which product has the largest share? So is it A, is it B, is it C, is it E, or do you think that all the shares are equal? Please remember your answer, and we'll take your answers right now. Okay. Please pick your answer. Which product has the largest share? Yeah. Okay, great. We are getting some answers. Perfect. Okay. Still collecting some answers. Okay, great. I think we have a statistic here. Let's close this. Okay, let me share you the results. Okay, these are the results. So most of you think that actually all the shares are equal. Then the second answer was that number E. So product E was the largest one. So this is the red one, and answer C. So this is the yellow one, and the B. So the blue one got actually got the smallest amount of your answers. Okay, this is very, very interesting. Let me hide the results. Okay. And now, let's take a look at the actual values. Like this. Okay. So if I ask you again, which product has the largest share? I'm certain that everybody would tell me the correct answer, which is product B. Okay, so product B actually got the smallest amount of your answers. Most of you thought that all the shares are equal, but here in the bar chart, we can definitely see that the shares are not equal. Actually, they're quite different. There's a huge difference between B, A, and so on. So most of you thought, let me go back. Most of you thought that all of them are equal. Then you voted for red one, and then for the yellow one, and at the end the blue one. Okay, so as you can see, pie chart, especially of course the 3D bar chart, is not the best way how to visualize the data. Of course, now this case is a very bad visualization. There's a 3D effect which emphasizes values which are visualized in front. That's why the yellow one seems bigger than the rest of them, and the colors also make the effect, the visual effect, how we perceive the areas. For example, the yellow color is brighter than blue color, and this is why the yellow share, the product C, looks visually, optically bigger than B. So actually the color can affect how we perceive a visualization. So this is not a good way how to present the numbers with 3D effects, with bright colors, and with pie charts. Okay, so a bar chart is much better, and this is due to the fact that people can actually compare the length in a very, very precise way. We can spot very small differences in length, either left to right as here, and even better from bottom to top, so to compare the heights, for example. Okay, the color is not really helping in this case to assess the numbers. If we just remove the color, the answer to this question is even easier. Okay, and so this means that the color is not necessary, it's not really necessary for this simple question and for this case. The second thing is, of course, if I would ask you a little bit more, a few more questions, like for example, how much is the share of the third largest product, or something like that, you would have a problem here, and you would also have a problem here, because we don't really know the numbers, although we have the labels here. For some classes of values, but for example this number 5 here is not really helping me, because all the real values are here. So 5, 10 is not really helping me. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 labels here, 6 labels, 6 numbers for 5 values, and they're not really helping me. Of course I can assess, like I can guess that this is more than 15, it's probably 16, and so on, but I need a lot of time for that, to decode this and to guess the value. So it's much better to integrate the labels and display the actual values on the chart. And in this case, for example, if we ask which product has the largest share, it would also be much more meaningful to sort the chart by the value. So, of course, now I see that product B is the largest. I can also see which one is the third and what its value is, and so on. Okay, and the other thing is, if you are using simple charts, simple visualizations, 2D, no 3D effects, no decorations, no bright colors without any meaning, and so on, you can add much more interesting information to the chart, to the display. For example, here we could add a visualization of the growth of each product versus previous year, or the achievement to the plan, and so on. We could say, okay, where's the average, and we could just draw an average here, or we could add a highlight, and we could just mark how much is the difference between the second and the first one, and so on. Of course, all these choices for visualization definitely depend on the question, on the message that you are trying to give to your audience, trying to convey to your audience. And in most cases, it is most interesting to visualize, to show the changes, the deviations. Okay, just the structure of products each month it's okay, it's interesting, but of course it's much more interesting how they change from month to month. Did we achieve the budget or not, and so on. So this visualization is very basic. It answers basic questions, but especially in business reporting, we need more powerful visualizations that also answer more detailed questions. And for example, the change. Okay, so this is another example. People say, so the gurus of visualization say that there's only one chart is actually worse than the pie chart, and this is multiple pie chart. Okay, so like in this example, we are trying to compare two different structures, between two pie charts, which is not a very efficient way. Of course, we can see that, for example, this slice of the pie here is much bigger than this one, and this one is much bigger than this one. But if I would ask you, okay, how much? What is the change? What's the rate of change? What's the growth rate, or something like that? You would have a lot of problems. And actually, here you can get the answer much more easy from the numbers that are displayed here, and not the visualization itself. Okay, so the problem of this visualization is we are trying to show the numbers, we're trying to help the users, but the visualization itself, it's not really helping anybody to answer these specific questions or these exact questions. So this is a problem of using, for example, pie charts and bad visualization in general. So the visualization, of course, can help a lot in presenting numbers, in understanding, in gaining insight from the numbers, but only, of course, if it's the right visualization. So today I hope I'll be able to show you give you a few guidelines how to do that in a more efficient way. For example, if you're trying to present the change, if you're comparing, for example, 2 points in time, like here, the year of 2007 and the year of 2011, and we want to assess how this share of the largest banks is changing from this year to this year here. A better option would be something like this. This is only one possibility, right? But here it's much more apparent. So we see that, okay, this is the percentage now. I see that the label is missing. Okay, so this is the year 2011 here. And this is the change from 2007. So we can immediately see that within the 1,000 largest banks in the world, the banks in Asia Pacific have gained an enormous share within all the banks in the world, especially on the account of Western Europe, where this share was significantly lowered from the year of 2007. And we can spot the changes for other continents as well. And this is now a better visualization, and this could be, for example, one slide at a PowerPoint presentation, or just a visual analysis that you can actually use to communicate to somebody. And of course, this is just this is still quite a simple example, and it is okay for it is probably okay for a PowerPoint presentation. It is probably okay for getting a quick message across to some general public or something like that. But in business visualization, in business reporting, or in business dashboards and so on, or if you're presenting your information to real professionals, then also this might not be sufficient. And in most cases, because in most cases you will have much more data categories, you will have much more KPIs and so on. So it is really important that you are able to put more information on a page. And this can be a page in a report, this can be a page on the screen like with a dashboard. It can even be a PowerPoint slide that, for example, you are showing to the management board or something like that. So the choice of the quantity information that you are displaying on one page, for example, depends mostly on the user. So it can be okay, a chart with 6 categories like in this case, if the people have, for example, 1 minute time or 2 minutes or something like that. But in some other cases, for example, at the board meeting or something, where you have a professional audience, the management, that probably have a little bit more time, for example, 5 minutes or something, or 10 minutes, you can actually present more information on one slide. And as Mr. Edward Tufte says, graphics can be shrunk way down. So you can make a chart much more smaller. And why is this important? Because, of course, if you make it smaller, then you can just show more information. Okay, this is now an extreme example. This is probably not something that you would do, the first time you want to change your reports or introduce visualization to your audience right away. But this is an actual report from an actual customer, and it's actually a marketing report, which was developed during some time, but now it's a standard report for years actually in this company. Of course, the numbers are fictional here, but it's made from an actual case. And again, see, for example, this is the information density that is actually required by professional management in business reporting. So you see, you have two extremes, like simple charts in a PowerPoint slide or in on a website or in a newspaper and so on, to this extreme where you really need to increase the information density. Okay, by the way, here we have some market shares, and for example, this is our brand, and we are comparing our brand to competitors. So we can see, okay, competitor number 1, the first one here, has almost 50% of market share, and but for example, it's losing its share from the previous year. This is the change from previous year, and the second one has lost significant amount of market share from the previous year. And actually our product here, which is highlighted, is the one that has the best growth from previous year. And this is now, for example, the volume market share, for example, in kilos or liters or units or something like that. Then you can also add value market shares, prices, so you can compare what competitors are doing. Are they increasing prices or decreasing prices? You can also add the distribution on the market. So for example, the share in how many stores I can buy this brand and so on. So you see, you can put related KPIs, so related measures, related indicators on the same page, which gives your audience the chance to actually compare the things that influence each other. For example, if a company is decreasing its distribution, the distribution of its product on a specific market, probably the market share will go up over some time, and so on. So you can actually understand the complex situation that goes on the market. And of course, in every business, the situation on a market is very complex. It's not very simple. It's not that simple that you could just present it with a few numbers, especially not like in our first case in the pie chart. Okay, so what have we learned so far? First of all, I would say you need to clean up your visualizations. So no 3D effects, no bright colors and strong colors and so on. Try to delete everything that is not really necessary, that does not really carry information. Okay, so this is called, Edward Tufte had this data ink theory, which says that the majority of ink that you are using on a report should actually represent the values, the numbers. So if the value changes, okay, the one column on a chart will increase. So this is data ink. And then you have non-data ink. A typical example would be a logotype of your company, or you know, some shading effects, or backgrounds and grid lines, and you know, some unnecessary decoration that you are using. This is non-data ink, and you should actually try to increase the share of the data ink. So this in turn means that you are representing more numbers on the same space, on the same amount of centimeters, or on the same amount of pixels that you have available on your screen. So you need to clean up everything, reduce the colors, minimize the charts, and just make the visualization as clean as possible. So I would say this is the step number one. And then step number two, use the right chart. Of course, the pie chart is not the best visualization, so there are many other options that are much better. And then also to organize all the data categories that you have on the screen. Like we have seen, the sort order is important on one chart. Of course, when you're putting more charts on your screen, also the organization of all the charts is very important. Which one is the first, which one is on the left and right, and so on. And then the fourth point would be to show the changes. Okay, show the changes, show the deviations, the differences, the variances, the growth. This is the most important information, because if something changes, this is where information actually happens. This is where information is born. This is where the knowledge is born. If something is as expected, and there's no change in something, then you already know that, or you already planned for that. But if something is, if there's a variance from the plan, if there's a growth from previous year, then this is interesting. And the last point is increase information density. As we have seen, put more information on one page. So regarding the cleanup phase, I would just like to touch the color just briefly. And I have another question. Today I have a few questions for you, so I hope you don't mind. Can you try to answer this question? What color is this dress? And we have two options. First, is it white and gold? And second, is it black and blue? What do you think? Very different answer, but only one answer is correct actually. This is not a trick. This is an actual photograph. I'm not sure. It's very famous. It's very famous. If you search hashtag the dress, There's a lot of buzz going on with this. So please, let's collect your answers. What do you think? Is it white and gold or is it black and blue? Okay, this is interesting. There's a battle. Okay. I think it's finished more or less. Just a few seconds. Okay, let's close this. And these are the results. Okay, so, 65% of you thought that this dress is black and blue, and 35% of you think that this is white and gold. This is very interesting, right? Very interesting. So more or less 2/3 of you black and blue, and 1/3 white and gold. How come that 35% of you were thinking that this is white and gold, which is completely the opposite color than black and blue? How come? Color is a tricky part. Okay, of course, first you're wondering what's the real color of this dress. Okay, let me answer. The actual color of this dress is black and blue. So the majority of you still guessed the right answer, but I'm sure that the ones that think that this was the real color are very, very sure that this dress is white and gold, but actually it's not. So you see, color is a little bit tricky. Actually, color is very, very tricky. And as Moritz Stefaner said, the famous designer, position is everything, color is difficult. Okay? For example, if I ask you, how successful is Project Pegasus here? Now to answer this question, what do we have to do? First of all, we have to look up for Pegasus here. So I need to actually read through all the labels like this, and I need time for this, okay? I need to fixate my vision here and read this label, go down, read this label, go down, read this label, and so on. And every operation of reading and of moving my eye is actually costing me time. Okay, so I need to read through this, and then I see, okay, this is the Project Pegasus. I've spotted the right one, and then I have to remember this color. Okay, and now I have to do another task, which is I need to match this color within all the bubbles here. Okay, and then I get several candidates, and then I need to recheck, okay, is this color or is it this color, and I'm not really sure. So these are very, very basic things. So I should immediately see which project is Project Pegasus, and this is not really the answer of my initial question. Now, how successful is it? And now I need to go here and try to understand the axis and what the values and positions mean, and so on. So this is also not the best way how to visualize information. And you see, the key problem here is this color legend and the usage of all those colors. There's just too much color on this page here, and this is not helping me understanding the situation in a very fast way. And of course, if you're not lucky, or if you print this in black and white, then you have a major problem. This is not working in black and white, of course. And if you would add more projects, it would just get more and more and more difficult. So solution like this is not really helping, and the learning from this is reduce the colors. Just reduce the colors, delete the color legend, do not use this, just try to label the data categories at their natural places. Like for example, if you have a bar chart, of course you would label, you know, each bar like this, not with a color legend. Just do it like this, and then the numbers do not show them here. Show them at their actual positions. The second thing would be use only a few colors per page. So do not use different colors for different products because you have too many products, and this will not work. So the majority of a report should actually be very neutral, like gray or something, and then you use some other colors, but probably 5-6 colors. That's enough. And if you only have, if you need to design in black and white, then you're even more limited. Then, you know, 3 to 4 black and white tones. That's the maximum that you should actually use. If I would, you know, need to give you like a cookbook recipe, how to use the color, I would say first start with gray, very neutral tone. So it can be gray or it can be, you know, like a pastel, you know, just a little slash of color, but not strong color and so on. So start with a neutral color tone, and then add red-green for variance. So try to show the differences, the variances, add the red-green. Next, use black only for labels, so for numbers, for you know, text and so on, and then for very, you know, for assisting elements like okay, we'll do it like this. So the next one is use standard meaning for colors. So like red is danger, green is growth. We all understand that. The next one would be light is good and dark is bad. So if you have for example, if you have a KPI that is like, that has a bad meaning, like for example, costs or something, you can use dark color. And if you have sales, you can use, you know, light color. Or you have, I don't know, unemployment, you know, you can use darker color and so on. You know, then we have some standard conventions, like blue is male, pink or magenta is female. You can just use this because it's already a standard. Everybody understands it. If you break the standard, people will have the problem of understanding and will have to read what each other color mean, and they will just lose time for that. Or blue is cool, the color of business, and orange is more warm and happy, and so on. And finally, for everything else, like assisting elements, grid lines in a table or in a chart, or backgrounds or so on, use very light colors. And this in turn mean that, you know, you should use strong colors only for highlighting. Right? For example, you can use blue or orange. Orange is a good color for highlighting because it's very you know, bright and very visible, and also, you know, like strong tones of blue color. But this should be limited to, you know, a very minimum, very small amount of bright colors on one page. Of course, also your corporate colors, like if you have a blue logotype and blue corporate color, or magenta or yellow or something like that, just try to minimize this as much as you can. Okay. So in the standard, in the IBCS standard, this stands for International Business Communication Standards. We are using color and pattern coding. Most of you already know this from the first webinar. So just, you know, to give you a comparison, in IBCS, you're actually using just a few just a few black and white tones, like, you know, a dark color and a light gray and a few patterns and the red green, and this would be like 80 to 90%, I think, of the whole report. Okay, so the next point that I would like to make today, and I will try to do this through some practical examples, are the charts. So we said using the right chart is the key to getting your message across. And I have chosen this time a few charts, and I'll try to present a story through 3 of those charts. The first one is the so-called Hills and Valleys chart, and we use it for trend analysis. So this is number 1. We'll take a look at you know, how to present values that change over time, the trends. And then the second one will be the waterfall chart, which is becoming more and more popular, and it's really powerful for many different situations. So I will show you a few examples of this. And the last one is a little bit special one, and so I chose this one as the last one, so the butterfly or the tornado chart. Okay, so let's start with the time series analysis. When you're trying to present the value, how the value changes in time, for example, from month to month, like monthly sales or whatever, you have a few options which chart to choose. You can choose a bar chart, you can choose like the pin chart, or this is also called the lollipop chart. You can just use the dots or use line and connect it with dots connected with line, or just pure lines. And obviously there's a ranking here. There's a ranking, and if you use bar chart, this chart is more vertically, it has vertical columns, so it actually makes you makes the user compare the heights, okay, and the single values of each month are emphasized. While on the other end of the spectrum, we have a line chart that just, you know, pushes my eye along the line, and in this way, you know, focuses me on the trend only. And now for a real, let's take a look at the real example of trend analysis. And I have some data here, and these are actually the market shares for some cars, and how they change from, for example, January 2012 to January 2013. So we have 13 points in time, but we have many examples here. Now, what type of chart would you choose for that? Most of you would probably do this. Insert a line chart. Let's start with this one. Okay, so this should show the trends. But if you take a look at this, it's just a spaghetti chart. Everything is, you know, it's just too much information for one chart, and you can't really see what's going on. You have to, again, color code and everything. So it's not, in this case, it's not really effective. Since these are market shares, so they total to 100, we could probably also try to use this one. So the stack chart, showing each car, you know, as one part, as one series. But this is also not helping me very much. I cannot see the trend of each car, so it's not really okay. So this time, that's why I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to do this in Zebra BI. First with a simple line chart. Okay, this is going to take a little bit more time because now, but I also get a very different result because in this case, I have actually inserted, I think 12 charts with one click. And what we see here, let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, like this. So now I have displayed every brand of a car on one in each chart. So you can see the trend clearly for all the charts, but the organization of this report could be better. Now we are at the second point. So the organization. If I just sort this by the last value, so by the, for example, by the actual market share in January and the last point, this is a little bit better. So now I know that Volkswagen, for example, here has the market share #1 and Renault is second and so on. And of course, all those charts are scaled. So if Peugeot, for example, has half of the market share here, of course, this line is also drawn at the half of this height here. And the second thing with the charts is you should use the appropriate label density. Okay, the amount of labels that you are displaying should be tailored to the amount of space that you have. For example, just for showing some trends, it's enough to display just a few labels and so on. So this is one option, but now we are still missing something. We said that the variances are very important. I can see the movement, I can see the trends, but I don't really see the variances. And here comes the hills and valleys chart. Now I have done a little trick here, and because I would like to compare how this market share is moving compared to the first point. So this is 1 year ago, January 2012, and I would just like to see, if I have a line here, is this going, going down, or is it going above the first point? And that's why I'm going to use this chart. So this is now the hills and valleys chart, and it's practical use for showing time, for showing trends over time. This will give me a little bit a slightly different result, like this. Okay, so as you see, now the visualization is a little bit different. I can immediately see that this point here is below and so on. So I can immediately see, okay, Volkswagen, there's red here, so it's more or less, it went down from the first year, and BMW is going up and so on. So it's a little bit, it's better. Again, of course, you should try to make it as clean as possible. And if you want to reduce the color, you could also use a little bit lighter colors. For example, we have a eco style here, just to show you the difference. Okay, maybe this is enough, to get the message. So you see, this is a chart that is not really used in business reporting a lot, but the reason for that is that BI tools or just charting tools are just not offering you advanced charts like this. So you're stuck with your normal line charts and other charts. So the trends, the time series analysis. Okay, so this was the hills and valleys chart. This is another example that I did just for fun, displaying the public debt as a percentage of GDP for European countries. And we see that, for example, Greece here has a lot of public debt. and Italy also, and it's increasing, and so on. And this is compared to the Maastricht criteria, which is 60%. So it's like a benchmark. Is our depth bigger than 60% or not? It's a very simple benchmark, but it's a European benchmark, and you can just see all the countries, and you can see that which countries are below. We can see the Bulgaria here decreasing the depth, and so on. We can see Ireland, Ireland going up, and so on. And if you want to make it even more clean, you can use different color for you can even reduce the color of the variances. For example, in this case, where more is actually bad, you can just use dark color for bad, which gives you which reduces color to gray and dark gray, and this leaves you some more space to use color to, for example, highlight a country, like my country Slovenia here. Okay, in all these charts, when you're presenting more charts, which is called small multiples, of course the scales of the charts should be synchronized. For example, if you just take a quick look of those two charts, the visualization would just say, okay, the sales in US and the sales in Canada is exactly the same, but that's of course not true, because we have 600 here and 12 here, and so this is not the case. It's it's a proof that bad visualization can lead to completely false conclusions. Okay, and we call this lie factor, because there's a lie factor because you're perceiving the visualization, you're getting some answers from visualization that do not reflect the numbers, the values themselves. So you should synchronize the scales of all charts, and of course our tool Zebra BI does that by default, so you don't really have to worry about that. It's already in the product. So this is the right picture. Somebody will say, okay, but now I don't see the sales in Canada, but that's not really the problem of a report designer. That's probably a problem of the sales guy. And maybe that's a normal thing. Maybe you just started selling in Canada, and so on. As long as you're showing, for example, sales in dollars for both countries, this is the correct picture. Of course, if you want to show that the trends are the same or something like that, you could use, you could just show the growth rates, and then we would see that the growth rates are the same. But if you are showing the values, this is the picture. And another thing, another option where you can make a bad visualization is if you crop the axis. Here I can just deduce that the sales of product B is more than twice as much as product A, but of course this is not true, because the axis is cut and we have not visualized correctly the chart. So wherever you're using bar charts and column charts, and more or less in 99% of situations, you should start your axis with a zero. There are of course some special situations where you really need to cut the axis, but it's really seldom, and only do it in line charts and not in any other type of chart. Okay, so this is for the trends and small multiples. And now let's take a quick look at a few more examples. The next chart is the waterfall chart, so the second one now. And a lot of people are asking me, okay, well, the pie chart if not using pie chart, what's the best replacement for the pie chart? And most people say, of course, that the best replacement is just a normal bar chart. So for example, like this. And this is true if you only want to present, if you only want to compare, different, for example, costs. In this case, we have different types of costs, and you just see, how they are compared. But actually, the pie chart gives a little bit different message. Okay, you can actually see the share of each cost type towards the whole costs, the whole operating expenses, for example. So the most natural replacement for that would be the waterfall chart, like this. Okay, so now I actually understand the structure of the costs. I have employment costs, depreciation, and so on. I can, compare the differences as well. Not as good as in this chart, but I can still see that this one is the biggest and so on. And I can fairly good spot the differences. But it also gives me, the answer, how does each cost type contribute to the total here. And this is a message that actually pie chart gives, but only in a very, very limited way. So waterfall charts are very powerful, and you can use it for many situations. So for example, this one, of course, you can again do a small multiple. So for example, to increase the power of the visualization, just produce more charts. For example, if you have plants, production units or something like that, and these are cost types, you can just compare them like this. And of course, just take care of the layout. Okay, so this is my report layout. Maybe I can do it like this, and I will sort by the last value like this. Okay, so now I get the plants that have the largest OPEX, and yeah, the labels are also part of visualization. So total, the word total is not the best word. This is actually these are actually operating expenses, so you can just write OPEX instead of total. Okay, and this is now more clean, right? So you can use the small multiples with every chart. And so this is like a general method of data visualization that is really, really powerful. And it works with every chart. Then the second situation for the waterfall charts is presenting calculations like P&L statement. We have some net revenue, some costs, and then we arrive at the gross profit and some more costs and operating profit. And this is now a simple calculation which has two levels of hierarchy. So I have, I have fixed values, the results, and I have the contributions here. But sometimes these calculations can get more complicated. For example, if I would also like to present the costs of goods sold, which means raw material plus direct label plus freight and cartage, to collect it, I need to, I would sum it up like I did here, and but now I need to display it also. So, for example, if I do it here, you see the result now. I actually have three levels in the hierarchy of this calculation. I have net revenue, then I have some cost types, and then I have the sub calculation here. And in Zebra BI, this is very new. If you're using Zebra BI, make sure that you download the latest version 1.2.3, which supports these sub calculations, and you will also get you will also see the documentation, how to use it. So and it's always visualized like this on the right case. So actually the costs are subtracted from net revenue, the cost of goods sold subtracted from new revenue, I get gross profit, then I have some labor costs and so on. The total of these costs is actually operating expenses, and they are subtracted from gross profit, and this is how I get operating profit. So it's a clear visualization of a calculation. Okay. You can also use, of course, waterfall charts to show the variances. Like in this case, the variance, how the variances in each quarter contributed to the total result. But here at the end, it would be nice if I also had, the total difference between year 2013 and year 2014. Okay, and this is now again a slightly different calculation because I need to subtract or make a difference between this value here and the value which is 5 elements behind. And this is exactly, for example, what I can now do here. Okay, so now I have the first year, then I have the quarter which goes up and down, and then I get the result, and then at the end I have the difference between two numbers. And this number here, 6, means that sorry, this delta, this variance, should be subtracted from the first element, so from the element which is 6 elements before. Okay, and of course, again, also with this chart, you can just create multiples if you have more products and more countries and more segments of your business, which of course you do. So that's why the small multiples, I think, are very, very useful and powerful. Just make sure that you also sort and this will give you even better picture. Okay, we are coming to an end. And for the end, I would just like to show you the butterfly chart. And this is a little bit special chart, which is used, for example, for showing the population pyramid. Like this. This is a standard way how to present the population. Let me just hide the labels here just to show the point, and this time I will use a little bit different style to show male and female. And this is a typical population pyramid. This is the data for Slovenia for the year of 1953, and the population still looked like a pyramid, but if you want to really make a story, usually you need more information to make a real story. So let me illustrate this. If I do the same, but this time I have a little bit more data. So I also have the last year, and let me hide the labels, and okay, like this. So this is now very understandable, and now we get the story. So you see, when you add information, when you use more multiples and add information, now you have a story, because now we see that the shape of population is changing from the pyramid to a tornado or something like that, or a carrot. So people are aging. So this is young population here, and this is old population here. And in a forecast for 2053, we see that we will have a lot of old people. So people are aging and so on. And you get this message just by adding more charts. And in this time, I'm just adding a chart for time series, okay, which is also an interesting way how to present small multiples. And the last situation where you could use the butterfly chart is, if you have an opinion poll or something like that, you can do something like this. Okay, this is a little bit different situation. Now the question was, is the country's economic situation good or bad? And this was answered by, of course, by the population of each country. So it looks like that, you know, people in China think that economic situation in China is very good, and in Vietnam and so on, and in Germany and so on. Of course, this is only the perception. This is what people think. The people that were asked this question of their own country. And you see at this point, at the lower point, we have the countries with more bad values. So you see, this is also a little bit different way how to visualize the data, a little bit specific way how to show good versus bad. Okay, this was data visualization through a few examples. I hope I got the message across that, you know, the shape and the position of elements and the density of elements on the screen is much more important than colors and other elements, right? And I just hope that you will use this and that you find this useful. Thank you for your attention. If there are some questions, please let me know. Let's try to get some questions, answer some questions. Okay, we have a question. Why I can't see and use the butterfly chart with my license? Is that new, and when it's available? Thanks. Okay, thank you, Stefan. This is new. This is in development. So this is at the moment, this is only in my development version, but it's almost done. So we plan to schedule this in 2 weeks. 2 weeks time. So we will let you know when this chart will be available. And this chart will just be added for every Zebra BI user. You will just get it with your next update. How much time does it take a new user to learn how to use Zebra BI? It would be very fair if an actual user would answer this. I can just give you a short idea. For example, when you download and install Zebra BI, which is very simple, you will get this. Okay, you will get a short tutorial, getting started tutorial, which will guide you through the basic functions of Zebra BI. And everything that you will do, Zebra BI will just guide you through. So I think that I think it's very short time. I think you need a few hours probably, and you don't need any special training or anything like that, because there are Zebra BI, just calculates all the variances. You don't have to mark any special, you don't have to set any special properties or something like that. We have really made it, we have worked hard to make it really user friendly, and the user experience is very sleek. So yeah, I would say an hour for the basics, and then just a few more hours probably. Okay, next question. Are bullet charts planned for Zebra BI? I don't think so. The bullet charts, I personally think that bullet charts are not a good way of visualization. There are many of reasons for this. and the major reason being bullet charts do not show the variances. Okay, with bullet charts, you know, you always have like a benchmark in the background, and then you have the line, you know, the column which goes left and right, but you don't actually see the variance, and that's very, very, very important. You know, if it goes along the line, across the line, above the plan or something, it should turn red, it should alarm you, and so on. And in case of bullet charts, this is just not true. So I personally believe this is not a very good visualization. I'm sure that this is also the opinion of Rolf Hichert. Okay, thank you, Stephen. Next one. The example you showed about car manufacturers' market share, was that comparing the visualizations available in Excel with those available through Zebra BI? Yes, the first, at first I just showed normal Excel charts, the line charts, and then the second part with small multiples, it was done in Zebra BI. Okay, Thomas, can I buy the license and not rent by month? Okay, this is a question about the product and pricing. At the moment, we offer subscription, so it's 19.90 euros per month, and at the moment it's the only way how we sell the licenses. Could Zebra run on Office 365? Office 365 has actually has two parts, and Zebra BI does not run in actual Office 365, and the majority of you know, power users still use the desktop version. That's why also Microsoft published is giving you know, desktop versions. So when you subscribe to Office 365, you get a desktop version for free, and Microsoft will do this also in you know, in the future. Now they are preparing Excel 2016. So, and all the, you know, all the functionality for power users, like power pivot modeling, and you know, so power pivot modeling and a lot of functionality is only available and will stay only available in the desktop version. So also Zebra BI is a little bit, you know, on the power user side, and I think it belongs there. So at the moment, it's not in the online version, but most probably, of course, it will be in the future. Okay. Again, some questions. We're running out of time, but let me answer the last one. Is Zebra BI similar to the Microsoft Excel Power View add-in? Okay, maybe of course it's a little bit similar, because it's also one part of Zebra BI is also a visualization tool. So the Power View is a visualization tool. We think that Zebra BI is much more than that, because it's also a reporting tool, and you can do a lot more than just you know, what can be done in Power View. So Power View is at the moment a very simple visualization tool, which offers small multiples, which is really good, but it has very, very limited you know, charting capabilities, no secondary axes on charts and stuff like that, no advanced charts, no possibility to embed charts into tables or do anything like that that you would use for business reporting. So I would say the biggest difference is that Zebra BI is more geared towards business reporting, management reporting, dashboarding, and so on. And while Power View is more a general visualization tool, which is, I think, in my personal opinion, still at the start of its journey, and will probably go into direction of Tableau and similar visual analysis tool, not so much as Zebra BI. Okay, thank you for all the questions. We will, if you have a request for the next webinar, please let me know in the chat window, or just write me an email. We are happy if we can get some suggestions what you would like me to prepare for the next month, and otherwise we will pick a subject and hopefully see you next month again on our third webinar. Thank you very much, and hope to see you in a month. Bye.